is Don Karl from Berlin. First question to everyone, the talk will be in English. Everybody speaks English, I hope, or you need translation? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'm Don Karl, like I said, from Berlin. I call myself a cultural activist. I'm a publisher, graffiti artist, and do a lot of cultural projects. And one of these projects is Arabic graffiti. The first question that might come to your mind is like, how come a German is writing a book about Arabic graffiti? Because I even don't speak Arabic or read Arabic or write Arabic. So I didn't do this book alone. I did it with Pascal Sohbi from Lebanon, and he's a typographer and typo designer. I think a very famous one who designs typesets and letters. And he's a very good friend of mine. I did a workshop for graffiti in 2006 in Beirut. And at this workshop I wanted to unite Arabic calligraphers, young designers and graffiti artists to work with the Arabic script. Because if you do graffiti, it's a little bit different, like what you have see here now happening in Cairo and in other cities. It's mostly stencils and street art, but graffiti, how the graffiti culture that spread all over the world from the United States. It started in Philadelphia, came to New York in the late 60s, 1960s, and it came to Europe in the early 80s. And it's all about letters and writing your name. And you have to write your name in a beautiful way to express yourself. And if you're really a master in it, you can express your whole personality in your letters. And this is something which is very similar to calligraphy. So there is always a link to calligraphy for graffiti writers, because with this love for letters, we are just neighbors in our art. I started with graffiti in 1983, so a very long time ago, and I'm still doing it, but I'm doing a lot of other things, like this book now. For me, it was a very great experience to work with all those artists who are involved in this book. And we found a lot of very good authors and researchers and specialists who gave us also essays about the topics. So we can start. The fonts in the books are also from one friend of Pascal Sohbi and from himself also. So this is like the starting page from two guys. One is from Nigeria, another one from France, and they who grew up in the Middle East, and they are a collective working with Arabic letters. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce you. This is Mohammed Abdelaziz. He's a designer and calligrapher also from Cairo. And he is actually the only participant in the book from Egypt, because when we made the research for it, I didn't find really a lot of graffiti, like graffiti writing in calligraphy style or using Arabic letters in Egypt, but I found a lot of beautiful calligraphy and design from Egypt, and Mohammed gave us a very nice stuff for our design section in the book. So it has three main parts, and we just jump into it. We have some prefaces. This is a typo letter Masira from Pascal Sohbi also, and it's based on the writings which were done in Lebanon on the Martyr Square when they had the big demonstrations against the Syrian occupation there, and Syria was driven out of Lebanon, and they made a petition after Hariri was killed, and a lot of people wrote on this very big board, and he used like this type to create a font. And that's my preface. And just one. Okay, so this is the first big part of the book, and this is something I don't think I can tell you anything about what you don't know, because it's about the Arabic script and calligraphy. We also had some great authors for it, and it's also an introduction for the Western readers, because the book's in English and it has two aims, like to first introduce this art form and what is happening in the Middle East and with artists from the Middle East and from North Africa who use Arabic script in their graffiti to the Western world, because there nobody even know that there is like a street art scene in Beirut. So it was a big surprise, and when we presented this book, but we have to introduce them also to the script, to the Arabic script. So this is like where it is spread. And yeah, this is a brief history about the Arabic script by Huda Abi Fares, who is the founder of the CUT Foundation in Lebanon. And some examples in the history, like different styles of calligraphy. And then it goes into the typo design and how the script evolved into typography. And then we already go into contemporary calligraphy. This is a chapter or essay written by Malik Anas Rahab. Yes. Okay. He's from Baghdad. He learned like as a child already, like from some masters there. You will know for sure that Iraq has a very rich history and in calligraphy, and still has a great scene of calligraphers. So he learned there his art, but then later he evolved from it and did free work, which sometimes even doesn't have to do with letters, but just with letters forms. And what he says is like you have to really learn the script first and know about the script before you start to, and especially about calligraphy and the classical calligraphy before you start to experiment with it. And he talks about the different famous contemporary calligraphers, like also Hassan Massoudi. Hassan Massoudi, he's from Iraq and lives in Paris. And we had the great honor that he wrote us an essay also for this book. And he compared graffiti and calligraphy as two daughters of the same parents. Like one is the rascal, a little bit rough, the other one is more it's not so, how you say, it's not making so much trouble, but they're still part of the same family. So these are some examples of his works, and for me as a graffiti artist, it's always nice to meet calligraphers, because when we talk, it's like I can meet a 70-year-old calligrapher and sit together with a 15-year-old graffiti artist, and it's like just the same language, because it's always about the letters and the power of letters and the love for letters. And Hassan Massoudi is very well known in the graffiti scene, especially with the ones who use the Arabic script. And this is a mosque in Montreal, which has a calligraphy inspired by Hassan Massoudi. So the second part is general public art and graffiti in the Middle East. And there, what we thought first was to do a book which has like every country where the Arabic script is used, and have like an essay or story about the graffiti scene in every country, but it would have been a project like traveling for 5 years to find out everything about it. So what we decided was to involve different experts and people who already collect this stuff from different countries, and have only some examples, because otherwise it would have been a really big volume, because there's so much different examples of calligraphy used in public space, so we chose some of them. This is from Bahrain, and it's also the only example which is actually linked to the revolutions which are happening right now, because when we sent the book to print, it was like 1st of January, and on 25th of January I was like, oh, we just sent it to print 20 days too early, because then I saw like graffiti exploding here in Egypt, and saw the tanks on Al Jazeera with all the graffiti, and then the designers and artists came out and made beautiful paintings. So since the time when we printed the book, a lot of things happened. But I think it's a good snapshot of the time also. So because of this chapter, we already had problems in Bahrain to sell the book with the Ministry of Information. This is a chapter by Pascal Sorgby. It's about, you have it here a lot, like the calligraphers who use shop signs or do shop signs. So it's different examples from Lebanon and Morocco, Tunisia, and other countries. Yeah, this is a scene which is also linked in our eyes to graffiti, because it's calligraphy on moving objects, and it's very on every truck in Lebanon you can see this, and it's a lot of funny comments, sometimes for securing your journey, but also a lot of jokes and funny things. So this is a Lebanese wrote this chapter also. This is a chapter about Palestinian graffiti from the West Bank and Gaza, and also from Al-Quds. Here it was very interesting for us to find out that some of the techniques are really linked to the classical graffiti, and they had a real battle going on, like in the graffiti world we call it like a battle if like different crews or graffiti crews try to be better than the other. So they try to paint, they meet and they try to paint more than the other and more beautiful and bigger, and the same was happening especially in Gaza with Fatah and the Hamas. And they sent like calligraphers who got an education in calligraphy before they were allowed to paint. So